Hey guys, welcome to Food is Good. And this is an episode that I have been looking forward to all year. This is actually our Thanksgiving episode. And what says family more than Thanksgiving? Now my kids may beg to differ. They may think Christmas is family more than Thanksgiving. My wife and I definitely don't feel that way. Thanksgiving is definitely that holiday where families come together. And what speaks coming together as a family on Thanksgiving other than turkey, dressing, Brussels sprouts, and not just any Brussels sprouts. These are Brussels sprouts with a caramelized bacon on top of it, drizzled with maple. I'm hungry just thinking about it. And what's Thanksgiving dressing without cranberry sauce? So you're in for a surprise because we're not going to use that canned, gelled cranberry sauce that everybody loves. I'll be honest with you, it's not bad, but this is going to be even better. So guys, thanks for watching. It's going to be awesome. I'm Caesar. Food is good. Hey guys, like I said, what speaks Thanksgiving more than the turkey? This is like the meal you don't want to mess up. And if you do what we're doing today or do what I'm doing today, you're not going to mess it up. So we're going to start off with a turkey. And there's a couple of different ways you can do your turkey. I think I've talked in an earlier episode about doing a spatchcock turkey. Some people like a smoked turkey. Some people like a fried turkey. But I think traditional roasted turkey is the way to go. The first thing you want to do is find a good bird. And this is a good, nice sized bird right here. So what we do is that we take the bird, take it out the bag, obviously, and then we rinse it off. Now I'm not, I know there's different arguments. Do you rinse it or do you not rinse it? I 100% guarantee you want to rinse off your turkey. Once you rinse off your turkey, and we've already done that step there, you want to go ahead and pat that turkey dry. So you want to get all that extra moisture off the turkey. And the reason you're doing that is because you want that skin to be crisp. And if it has a bunch of moisture on it, the skin's not going to be as crisp. So once we do that, there's a step that we do, and I'll show you here in a second, but we're going to inject it. Now, before I talk about that, there's a few rules or arguments out there. Inject the turkey, dry brine the turkey, or wet brine the turkey. So I couldn't figure out which one I wanted to do or which one I liked the most. So I think the direction I'm going to go in is we're going to go ahead and dry brine it. And I'll explain to you what that is, but I'm also going to inject it too. So knowing when you're injecting the turkey, only the part of the meat that you inject is going to have that flavor that you're putting in it. So if you put it in the breast, don't expect it in the legs. But what we're going to do, we're going to inject the breast, we're going to inject the legs, some part of the thighs over here. And because I'm a wing guy and I love wings, I'm going to hit the wings with some injection. And then what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and season your turkey. Now, turkey, a traditional roasted turkey definitely needs thyme, salt, pepper, and I put a little garlic on there. And just because I wanted to have that nice brown coat to it, I'm going to put a little paprika across the top. So let's get started. So I'm going to take the turkey, and I'm gonna put it over here in my pan, get rid of this cutting board right here, and just replacing it with this right here. Like I said, we're gonna inject that turkey first. So right here, I have about 8 ounces of butter. I'm gonna add about another 8 ounces of water to it, and then I'm gonna add some seasoning into it. Now you can add any kind of seasoning you wanna add to it. Growing up in Mobile, Alabama, I like that Cajun, Louisiana coastal taste. So I'm gonna add a little salt in there, a little garlic in there. I'm gonna add a little thyme in there, or a little poultry seasoning in there. And then what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna stir this up, and then I'm just gonna start injecting that turkey. So we got that stirred up. Now there are some seasonings out there, I guess I'll call it marinades out there, I guess, that you can buy. I like to make my own. So we're gonna do this right here. And we're just gonna inject the turkey. And like I said, we're gonna start with the breast. And it plumps it up. And that's what you're looking for. Now, I will tell you, you cannot do anything else with this liquid right here, the butter and water and garlic, because you got chicken in it or poultry in it. You don't want to reuse it or anything. So we've gotten the breast. We're gonna get the legs, and you can see how it plumps it up. That's just flavor. Do the same thing here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and hit the wings. Now the wings is very thin, or they're not very meaty. Do the same thing right here. So I said I was gonna hit the thigh, so let's go ahead and do that. I'm not really a thigh guy. I'm a wing, maybe the breast, if the breast isn't dry. And I guarantee these breasts aren't gonna be dry. There we go. So we're done with this. Just gonna take this and set this to the side. And now what we do is we're gonna come back over here and we're going to pat this dry again. And then we're just gonna season it up. Now before we do that, I wanna put a little olive oil across it. That's gonna help with the browning of it. And it's also going to help my seasoning stick to the top of it. So I'm gonna take this, a little thyme. You wanna get all in there really good. A little thyme on that, right there. Never be afraid to season your food. I'm gonna hit it with a little poultry seasoning in here. Like I said, there's nothing worse than messing up the turkey on Thanksgiving. Here, the seasoning. And like I said, I like to put a little paprika. And I use a little smoked paprika on it. Looking good here. It's okay if you go a little heavy on it. And then the last thing is a little salt. You gotta have salt. And I use kosher salt. And the reason we use kosher salt is actually gonna stick to the turkey a lot better than table salt. Plus when you use table salt, sometimes you have a tendency to over salt your food. So I like kosher salt. I always use it all the time. Now there are sometimes when you need to use table salt, when you're baking, doing some kind of baking or cakes or pies or anything like that, you definitely want to use table salt. But for this application right here, kosher salt's the way to go. Now what I'm going to do is, guys, we've already, in a step that I left out, we took everything. So when you buy a turkey, it's going to have the neck inside of it. You want to take that neck out. You don't want to cook that. You want to take the gizzards, which is in the front part of it, right up in here. You want to take that out also. Now have I ever cooked them before and didn't check it and didn't take it out? Yes, I have. It's not the end of the world if you do it, but you want to take that out because what we're going to put in there is we're going to put some carrots. We're going to put some mirepoix in there. So we're going to put some carrots in there. We're going to put some celery in there. And we're going to have some onions and put some onions in there. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do, and it's okay. Typically, if I wasn't messing with turkey, I probably would move this, sanitize all this, and then go to do this. But since I'm gonna put these onions and these carrots and the celery inside the turkey, it's okay. So we're just gonna take this onion, cut the onion. I'll be honest with you, you can leave the skin on the onion because you're not gonna eat the onion. The onion's in there just to give it some flavoring. So we're gonna stuff the onions in there. And truth be told, I'm only gonna be able to put about 1.5 or 3/4 of an onion in there. We're gonna take some carrots. Always when you're chopping, be mindful of where your fingers are at. You don't want to cut yourself. Keep those fingers tucked down. So now what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take this right here and stick it right inside the cavity of the turkey. We got that in there. Got a bay leaf right here that we're gonna put in there also. My grandmother used to swear by bay leaves. So we got that bay leaf in there. And guys, I lied. I told you that we were gonna throw this away. But a good thing you can do with this right here is just pour it in the bottom of your pan, because you're gonna need to put some liquid in there anyway. So what better than put that in there? I'm actually gonna add a little bit more liquid to it, because if not, this turkey is gonna cook. You want that turkey to cook about an hour and a half, and then you're gonna take that turkey out the oven, baste it, and then you're gonna cook it for another 2 hours. So you're really looking at probably somewhere around 3.5 to 4 hours for a turkey this size. So let me wash my hands. I'm gonna wrap this turkey and we're gonna get it in the oven. We'll be right back. So guys, we've got the turkey in the oven and it's doing its thing. So the next thing we're gonna go ahead and start on is Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts is that vegetable. Actually, I read something that Brussels sprouts is now the most popular vegetable out there. I thought it would be green beans. It's Brussels sprouts. So what's better than Brussels sprouts with bacon on it, my wife's favorite, drizzled with a little maple syrup, my favorite. So these Brussels sprouts are gonna be amazing. What we're gonna do is we take fresh Brussels sprouts. Can you take a frozen Brussels sprout and use that? I don't know. I think it's a different technique if you take a frozen Brussels sprout, because that frozen Brussels sprout is going to have so much water in it. I just don't think it's going to cook up the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to take these Brussels sprouts, and if it has a really big stem, root, whatever on it, because you do know these are just baby cabbages, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to cut that off, and then what we're going to do is cut these in half to cut down on the cooking time. So I'm going to go ahead and oil my pan right here, and then I'm just going to start putting these Brussels sprouts on top of it. So let's go ahead and bang out some real quick. You know, growing up, I remember you couldn't pay me to eat Brussels sprouts. As I gotten older, I can appreciate them more because we can do them. My parents growing up used to stew these things. And stewed Brussels sprouts, they may be pretty good. I don't know. I hadn't had it in years. I normally do my Brussels sprouts oven roasted with a certain type of glaze on it. And there's a lot of different types of glaze you can put on the Brussels sprouts. Crispy Brussels sprouts, look good. I remember when I was really just coming up, I would put Brussels sprouts in my soup. I mean, cabbage soup sounds good. Why not Brussels sprout soup? I think they liked it. But it's pretty good. So anyway, I got some Brussels sprouts here. And what you're just roasting these things off. So right here. So we're gonna take these Brussels sprouts. Just gonna put them on the pan. I like to put the flat part down, the leafy part turned up. Right here. So and I'm just gonna hit them with a little bit more olive oil, a little salt, and a little cracked black pepper. And we're gonna get these Brussels sprouts in the oven with the turkey. So the Brussels sprouts are in there with the turkey. Those Brussels sprouts are definitely gonna be done. I'm gonna say those Brussels sprouts are gonna cook in about 20 minutes or so. They're gonna cook up, they're gonna come out very nicely, nice brown on the top of them. I'm gonna take it at that point, I'm gonna pull them before they're completely done, and I'm gonna put some bacon across the top of it, hit it with a little maple syrup, and put them back in just to caramelize it just a little. So, guys, we'll be right back. Hey guys, like I said, I am super excited about Thanksgiving. I remember growing with my wife and I, when we first got married, and I was starting to do a lot of cooking at the time, I remember saying, hey, you know something? We're gonna cook Thanksgiving for the extended family. So not just our family, because at that time we may have had 2-3 kids. At that time, we may have had 2 or 3 kids. I'm leaning more close to 2. We have 7 now. But I remember saying we're gonna invite the entire family out, her side of the family, my side of the family, and we're gonna do Thanksgiving dinner. I did not anticipate how long it took a turkey to thaw out. I had to work that day. So this is when I was working at a restaurant. I'm not gonna say which name it is. I think it was Shoney's, to be honest with you. I was working there, and I remember saying, hey, I'm gonna cook the meal. So I found out how many people was coming, and I didn't have enough turkey. I wanna think, and I wouldn't dare do this today, but I think I thawed the turkey out under running water. And I'm not even gonna tell you where the running water was at. I'm just gonna leave it at, we thawed a big enough turkey out to feed people that night. Now, granted, this has been over 20 some years ago, but I still remember the stress and the pressure of you don't wanna mess up Thanksgiving. So with that in mind, let me check those Brussels sprouts so we don't mess up Thanksgiving. So looking at the Brussels sprouts, they've been in about 15 minutes or so, and they have a nice brown on top of them. What I'm gonna go ahead and do now is I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle a little bacon on top of them. The bacon across the top. You know, when people are cooking, they start singing because they're so excited and all that good stuff. So we got some bacon on it. And then I'm gonna go ahead and heat it with a little maple syrup. Just gonna drizzle a little maple syrup across the top of them. A little sweetness mixed with the saltiness of the bacon. And a little kosher salt I put on top of it is gonna make it really good. These are gonna caramelize right here. Really good. And I can tell they're kind of crispy already. Just gonna set this to the side, and I'm gonna stick this back in the oven. 5 minutes, pull them back out. So, we got the Brussels sprouts in the oven. I'm just gonna take and put this over here. And now we're getting ready to start on two things. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and knock out our dressing. Now, dressing is one of those things, I like to think I've perfected that dressing. People love it, a good dressing. I remember when I moved to Tennessee, a couple of places I ate dressing at, you had to cut the dressing with a knife and then put gravy on top of it to moisten the dressing. I didn't know what was going on. So what in the world is going on here? I believe dressing should be moist. And the secret to having moist dressing is to make sure you have enough liquid in it. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some cornbread, and we've already pre-made the cornbread in advance and let the cornbread cool. Second thing we're gonna do is we're gonna take some French bread and we're gonna process up that French bread. So we have some French, that's a regular French loaf right here. And then we're gonna take a knife and we're gonna go ahead and cut up this bread and put some of it in the food processor. It's a real simple recipe right here. So we got this happening. And I just remembered something. What I need to do is go ahead and get my skillet on the stove here. Guys, I know you guys are probably asking, where are you cooking at? Well, today we're cooking at Cottonwood Farms. Danny Barnett has opened up his kitchen and wanted us to come out and do it. Or I asked him, once I seen it, can I come out and do a couple of episodes at your facility? And he was so gracious and he said yes. So a little different in the kitchen that we used to cook in, but we like this kitchen just as well. With the new season that's coming up next year, the first of next year, you're gonna be so surprised with the kitchen. It's amazing. The kitchen is gonna be huge, big, lots of room. You guys are gonna love it. But today, we're at Cottonwood Farms, okay? So while my skillet is getting hot, right here, I'm gonna go ahead and start sauteing off my mirepoix, which is a little different, which consists of bell peppers, onion, and celery. Some people say, well, that's not a mirepoix. Well, it's a Louisiana mirepoix. That's what theirs is. A regular mirepoix and everywhere else is carrot, onion, and celery. Down south, where I'm from, is bell peppers, onion, and celery. So that's what we're doing. So we got that skillet getting hot right here. We've already got some processed up over here. Got some bell pepper. And I'm gonna let this get a little hotter. You always wanna saute in a hot skillet. Make it a little hot. Right here. While that's doing that, getting hot, I'm gonna go ahead and take some of my bread here and put it in my food processor. And we're gonna process it up. So this is processing up. There we go. So we're gonna process this up. Now, can you make cornbread dressing without French bread? Yeah, you can actually use any kind of bread. Can you make it without bread? You can make it without bread, and I've done that a time or two. When you make the cornbread dressing without bread, it has a tendency to be a little bit more coarse. So we always add bread to ours, and French bread if you got it. So we're gonna put our bell peppers, our onion, and our celery. And we're gonna let it saute, let it do its thing. This is that smell, when you're making dressing, this is that smell you're looking for. So while it's doing its thing right there, breadcrumbs already done, cornbread's right there. Let me check the Brussels sprouts. And they look really, really good. Nice caramelized Brussels sprouts right here. So I'm gonna take these and just sit it to the side. Right here, let those be cooling off. So now what I'm gonna do is, I got my breadcrumbs here, my mirepoix, doing this thing here. And while that's working, I'm gonna go ahead and get a large enough mixing bowl so I can mix in my cornbread, mix in my French bread, mix in my mirepoix, and then I'm gonna show you how to build that dressing. So guys, our celery, onion, and bell peppers, they're done sauteing. I've already pulled the French bread that we processed up. I have it right here, cornbread here. I took the liberty to go ahead and mix together my cream sauce. Now, back in the days, and I kind of still do it, I make my cream sauce from scratch, and I've showed you guys how to do that on other episodes. It's really just a cream sauce, and you can go back and look at some of the other episodes to see how we do that. But in this one right here, I use canned cream of chicken, which is good. I used to use that all the time back in the days. Sometimes you have to cut that cream of chicken with a little milk or a little water, just depends on what you're making. I didn't cut it at all with this one right here. If I need to add something to it, I'll try it at the end. Like I said, I want my dressing to be moist. So if I see once I add in my breadcrumbs and I add in my French bread, if the dressing is a little thick, then I'll add a little liquid into it. So what we're gonna do right now, we're gonna go ahead and add in my cornbread. So I've already put in the cornbread in there. I'm gonna go ahead and put in 2 cups of bread in here. So we're gonna say this is 1 cup, and we're gonna say this is 2 cups. So, and if you wanna be a little bit more exact, you can use a measuring cup, So I'm gonna go ahead and mix this up right here. Just move it over here so maybe you can see it better. So we mix this up here. And then I'm gonna go ahead and add in my mirepoix. From the looks of it, I am gonna have to add a little chicken stock, a little bit more chicken stock in this, because it looks a little thick. And if you're wondering what's the difference between stuffing and dressing, it's a world of difference. Cornbread dressing is king. So we got this mixing up right here, and it's looking really good. But like I said, I know for a fact I'm gonna have to add a little bit more liquid in it. So I'm gonna grab a little liquid, little chicken stock here, a little chicken stock in there. And what's the secret to great dressing? Awesome cornbread. That's the secret. So we're gonna mix this up right here. It looks good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take this pan right here, my roasting pan, and I'm going to pour this in here. Stick this to the side. Smooth it out really good. Right here. And just gonna get it in the oven. I'm gonna get this in the oven. I've already put some water on for my cranberry chutney or cranberry relish. So it's doing its thing. I'm gonna put this right in the oven. I have a cup of water that I've already put on for my cranberries. I'm gonna add these cranberries to it and let those come to a boil. It takes about 10-15 minutes to come to a boil. Once they start to pop, you know they're ready. So we have the cranberries there. We have the water. I'm gonna take a orange here and I'm going to zest the orange in there, cut it in half and squeeze the orange in my cranberry sauce. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and zest this orange in here. Now I'm gonna go ahead and cut this in half. And I'm just gonna squeeze this orange back over here in it. I put my hand right on top of it to catch any type of seeds that may come through. And right here. So that's cooking. Throw this in the garbage. I'm gonna wash my hands. When we come back, we're gonna put it all together. See you in a second. So guys, everything is coming together. So we have the cranberry relish right here, Brussels sprouts, and this is what the turkey looks like. You know, I can just hear like angelic voices singing. Dun, 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 dun. This is the turkey right here, star of the day. One thing I failed to mention is, guys, when we started off with that cranberry relish, you want to start off with like a simple syrup. So 1 cup of water, 1 cup of sugar, 12 ounces of cranberry sauce, cranberries. So if turkey was the star, dressing is the co-star of it. So let's get a spoon. Let's get a spoon right here. And we're just gonna, this is what you're going for. You can hear the moistness in the dressing. So guys, this looks, if I have to say so myself, this looks amazing. When you pull that turkey out the oven, because different people ovens cook different. Sometimes we may use a convection oven, sometimes we may use a convention oven. You wanna make sure you have an instant red thermometer because you want that turkey to be at 165 before you serve it. And like I say, every week, food is good, God is great, and every day's a blessing. See you next week.